Yo, welcome to the D&D, the Drink and Drown podcast. I am one of two hosts, Tim and Nicholas, aka Mr. Terrible, aka TNT.
And it's your boy, Everon Williams, aka Big Easy. You don't know what going.
And this is the Unapologetic podcast with good intentions. Make sure to hit us up on our socials, which will be located below. Enjoy. Yo, real quick. Yeah, but see back in the day when them rappers used to they used to sing and they all like, hey, once upon a time I was going down the road. I saw Georgie in the pole. You know, it's like, bro,
on top of the beat.
Yeah, that one's just like different back in the day. Hey.
It was groovy in a sense. I think it had a lot to do with what was going on like in the time. Like the whole, even like the way they used to dance, the way they used to dress. Like I don't see that type of thing happening in today's culture. Like with the way we dress now, the way we act and we turn up. I don't think those types of tracks would get people as lit as they did now. You know, back then.
Man.
Now, you know.
If you ever see me in the club and I'm going, hey, I better pull up. There's drinks on me.
Drinks for everyone. You get a treat.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So how's your week, man?
My week's been okay. At work, I got most of the stuff out of the way and to get plated. I got some big projects coming in this week for sure. So I will be working on Fridays again until I get that project out the way. We make like some super tramps that go into Europe. So that's kind of lit.
Yeah, for y'all, those who don't know, Timon works at like the headquarters for like the trampoline mafia in Canada. So it's we can't talk too much about it, but just know if y'all want to tramp, someone's the man.
I'm the guy. I'm that guy. But yeah, what about you? How's your week going?
Man, to be honest, every week since this whole COVID shit has happened, it's been relatively the same. You know, it's uneventful. It's in fact, I get sad when people ask me this question. You know, how was your week? How was your day? Because I don't have nothing to tell you. I woke up, I did what I had to do, I went to bed. That was my day.
So guess what we're not doing next week? We're not gonna ask everyone how his week
yeah,
went.
because it's gonna be the same thing. So actually we could just so for the newer viewers, because we're expecting them. We're expecting them. So they need to know that nothing happens in everyone's life.
Yeah, we have to make sure they don't forget it.
That's
True.
But
but yo, I've been hearing some shit about Texas. And I don't want to make fun of the whole situation, but who is to blame really? Because that whole ecosystem, that whole thing was set up for, never gonna be a cold winter ever. So let's not be prepared. It's like if Antigua people, we live in the Caribbean, the Tropic of what's that region called? Tropic of Cancer. The equator run through them areas. Remember
yeah,
geography,
I think either Cancer or Capricorn. I don't remember. One is north, one is south. I don't remember which one.
We're in one of them tropical areas, so that means it's really impossible for it to snow there unless you move the equator or the planet, right? And then one day just magically snows, like a snow. Everybody dead, basically.
Literally, we would all die. we would go home to nothing. Like everything would be no more.
Check. So they don't even have to think about that to plan for it. But the States, you would think that, all right, off chance, global warming maybe. But I can't talk about it too much. But I saw a video on Instagram with this guy kind of slide down the hill, right? And that thing just kept going. I feel like to this day it's still going.
It's still going. The legend said.
It's crazy because like I'm watching that thing skate. And I remember I think it was last week, they had like a bad snow day and I was driving to work. And I was scared out of my mind. Because it was snow was on the road. It was like a foot high. And this is me. Ooh, I got my my 4-wheel drive on. This is me. I can handle this shit. So I'm there early morning at 6 o'clock. And I'm pressing. So as I press out, the car slided. I was like, I'm not even going anywhere. Right? So then I had to find a way to get out. And the first corner, I turn, the vehicle just starts sliding. And I'm looking at the other guy like, you see what happening? And the car just sliding over there. And I'm trying to bring back the car. And the thing just fishtailing. And I'm turning my wheels. And the car just going where you want. Only the front moving. But the back is going where it wants to go. So I'm there panicking. I'm sweating in the cold. And I'm there like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? I'm thinking, all right, everybody's gonna stay put after they just witness what happened with me. Everybody just
That's
drive
not.
off, and
No,
I'm just
because
like,
everyone
damn,
still has their jobs to go to. Like the thing is, in Canada, this is expected weather. So you, as a person, you're expected to be able to live with this weather. So
bro,
literally, you there could be the biggest blizzard, and
bro,
you show up late, your boss still gonna be on your ass because
bro.
it's
I
expected.
come from Antigua. If I went outside and a bird pissed on me, I say, oh, it's raining. I'm staying home, bro. A
No,
little
for
rain,
real.
yeah, a little rain will keep us home
Yeah,
in Antigua.
literally. Back home for us, like for me, my parents have a business, and literally, the days it rains are the slowest days, and it's like the city is like abandoned.
Yeah,
Nobody,
nobody done
only the
shit.
people who have to be at work are at work. No one's coming to town if it's raining. Nobody's
If it
leaving the house.
no,
And I think rain affects drivers too, because people back home drive real dunce when rain come. It's like an incentive for stupidity. I don't know what it is, but up here too. I mean, like a snow come, and we honestly, I think up here people are more like resilient to that though. Like they don't, a lot of people, they don't really let nothing bother them. Like you said, your car was out there fishtail and everybody just looking at you like, okay, and
bro, I'm going like I'm driving literally 30, 20, right? And I see man doing 50 passing me. I'm just like, bro, what?
you know what? Winter tires, that is what. And ladies and gentlemen, I have been trying to tell Timon that it is just as important to have winter tires as it is to put gas in your car or to even make sure your brakes working or anything of that nature, because winter tires are a whole different ball game in the snow for real. And I promise you, if you had winter tires, your car wouldn't have been doing all them stripping that it was doing the other day.
All
But
right, ladies and
Timon don't think it's
gentlemen,
that important, so
ladies and
I'll
gentlemen,
leave him to it.
now that you've heard one side of this story, let me tell you the other side of this story, okay? I once came to this guy and told him, hey, I think I should get some tires, but the way how my bank account is set up right now, they're just expensive, okay? And then I got this thinking, right? I got this thinking. Because my brain going off, firing off, Mr. Creative with all them, And I got this thinking. And while I'm there thinking about like, maybe I should invest and get those tires, it dawned upon me that I don't have any storage. So now, one, I'd have to pay this kind of expensive money to get some tires with some rims, right? And then I'm gonna have to find a place to put my all season, no, all purpose, all season tires, and call them. Imagine that. All season tires can't work during the one season I need them to work, right? So clearly they're selling me a lie from the start. Anyways, I have nowhere to put them, so that means I'll have to spend money on storage. So that means during the summer, that's 6 months of storage I'm paying for. You know, I'm ready somewhere. I'm not going on to this. I already explained it to everyone.
It's fine, yeah. Basically, the conclusion of Timon's story is that storage is not as important as saving his own life. But anyways, on to bigger, better topics. We can proceed with this conversation.
Fine.
Nah, that's
Move
just
it
how it
on.
is, man. But but same thing with winter here. I think it was I have snow tires on my car, and one thing that snow tires don't like, nothing helps you against ice. Let's just put that out there. For y'all who don't
Uh,
know, nothing stops ice unless you have spikes on your wheels. And even then, well, that's your best bet.
Quick
But winter
question,
tires
buddy.
are not affected by ice.
So those winter tires that you have on, where do you keep your other tires?
In the garage.
You see, I don't have one of those.
That's besides the point. So, where there's a will, there's a way.
If I
If you
put them,
really want,
if
partner, you could have found some. Boss, I know
listen,
some. Boss, somebody would have
if
been willing. We just
the
throw some.
moment I bought those tires and I took off the ones that are on the SUV right now, I'd have to put them in my trunk. And this is
That's fine.
exactly what gonna happen. La 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 la. All I wait in the back, and a man gonna come across one night now is parked and say, "Oh my goodness, 4 pairs of tires." Or should I say 2 pairs of tires? Because two is
Yeah, it's right. Too.
the tires. That's what they gonna say. I know I go like, I can break this window when the alarm goes off. I can at least get 2 tires. He golden. Because no, he not look, safety reasons, right? I'm saving myself here. That's why I don't get the winter tires for my safety.
For your safety.
for my safety.
Your safety.
I mean, you hear me?
Oh, okay. So,
Yes, yes.
I okay. From that perspective, maybe I can kind of see where you're coming from, but in actuality, I don't. Anyways, um, no, like I was saying the other day, I was driving and there's this. I just left my house like 2 corners away from my house, and I was going like 10, like because it's a corner, right? There's a stop sign on one end. I don't have a stop sign, but it's still a pretty sharp corner, so I have to slow right down to turn it. And I turned my steering wheel, and the car just didn't turn. I was going for, I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. I let off the gas. The car just kept going at the trajectory it wanted to go. And two twos, I just watched my car run up in the snowbank. I could do nothing about it. I literally, it happened so slowly. I feel like I could have gotten out of my car and walked out to get in between my car and the snowbank to
Ah.
kind of stop it. But winter ain't shit, bro.
Bro,
Winter ain't
I
shit.
know them same ones because that same morning when I was going to work, I was going on this small little incline now, and it's going on the ramp to the highway.
Yeah.
And while I'm going now, I'm driving slow. I'm leaving a two car distance in front of me because winter. And I see the traffic stop. So this is me. All right, I have time. So I'm tapping on the brakes. And I realized when I tap on the brakes, the car still went the same speed. So I was like, let me tap a little harder. The car's still going the same speed. So now I'm slamming on the brakes and I can feel all the brakes locked now. But the car still sliding. So now I'm looking at the car in front of me and I'm one crack. This is me. Do I swerve into the next lane and then hopefully don't crash? Because now I have to be aware of the traffic that's coming in the next lane, right? And this is me. Do I tap or do I just hold? Do I tap or do I? So I'm holding for a bit. It's not working. So now I'm tapping on the brakes, trying to warm them somehow. And then it came to a stop. And man, my heart was in my hand.
But I hate because it happens so slowly. It's like you have enough time to think of everything that you could possibly
Everything.
do. It's just that
Just can't
nothing you
stop
will
it.
do will work,
It's like
regardless.
everything's happening in slow motion in real time. It don't even make sense.
Yeah, that's a movie shit. 100%. But man,
Bro, just
winter is
imagine
winter.
you fall out the sky, right? And then everything going slow. And you're just like, well,
Like
I'm gonna
your
hit the
death is about
ground.
to pull up on you.
Yeah.
Your death is literally waiting on you, and you
It
can't
just
do nothing.
it just happening slow. You
I mean,
falling
all the
up,
time, I be pulling my handbrake and everything, boss.
boss.
Every boss, everything. And it's still the same thing. So I just feel like at the end of the day, it's we should have just stayed where we come from. We have no business being here. I think that's just life trying to tell us that. That's the universe trying to reach out to us. I'm like, son, this ain't it. That's the reality
Nah,
of it.
nah, I get that, man. But like, no, the weather's been nice so far. Turn my head just now. Sorry, guys. But the weather's been nice so far, though. It hasn't gotten as bad. I can't say that for everyone because he live in Winterpeg. It's always bad out there. Tell him about the
I
other day now.
mean, it's okay. Here's the thing, right? This particular winter was not the worst winter, but this past week and a half was the worst week and a half of my life. Well, I wouldn't say in my life because due to quarantine and COVID, which I like to look at the brighter side of things and I just try and focus on positivity for my own well being. So I always look at COVID as, the thing that was sent to Earth to prevent me from having to go outside in the winter. So that's how that's my resolve with COVID. So having said that, I didn't have to be out in the elements, but last week it was literally on average, there was no day that it was warmer than minus 20 degrees Celsius. And at day, sun high up in the sky, right? You go outside, you could get a tan underneath the frostbite you get because it was like the sun shining bright and it's still like minus 30 and it's just a whole other ball game. It's like that type of weather where you can like throw boiling water outside and by the time the water is supposed to hit the ground due to gravity, it won't be water anymore. It would have vaporized. So it's some extreme stuff, but compared to Timon, he's living lavish. Definitely living lavish.
For sure, for sure. But
Only thing
hey,
is, I haven't been able to do no winter sports, winter anything, to be honest.
I haven't gotten the chance to do any, and I've been here for 3 years.
Mm.
Done
See, luckily
nothing.
for me, I was able to get into skiing when I came up. Our school had some extracurricular activities, and one of those things that we could have done was ski club, and
Mm.
that's where I got exposed to it. I started off with snowboarding first.
Mm.
It I don't want to say it's me because it very well could be me, but I don't like snowboarding. Snowboarding is dangerous because for some reason I just can't keep straight. I would start off going on in the position, left foot forward, right foot back, and you're just going on like that. And then just in slow motion, because I'm on the bunny hill, right? That's the beginner's hill. Like
Wait, we
I'm with
did
I'm with
snowboarding or
children, bro.
skiing?
It was when it's ski club, but you can snowboard or ski. So when I went for the first time, I started off with the snowboard because that's what I wanted to do because that's the coolest looking thing, right? Skis
Oh,
are
for
for lame,
sure.
looking wise, right?
It's like
So I was like,
skateboarding on ice.
literally. So I'm like, yo, I can do this. And the thing why it was like such a good idea was because I know skateboarding is hard because my feet aren't strapped to the board. I'm just standing on it, right? But a snowboard, you're actually strapped to the board. So the board
Why?
not gonna leave your feet, right?
Okay.
So it's like you're wearing a boot, and then it has like a
See,
thing, and
but
it's,
why
it's like
strap
strapped to
though?
the
Couldn't
boot.
I just push my foot inside and it's like a,
Nah,
slippers?
nah. I mean, there possibly could be something like that, but I don't think that's a general setup.
Suppose I
Personally, but
start
I'm not
fall
a
and
professional.
tumble. I can literally tumble with my legs open.
Literally, that's it. You just cover your face. I hope your hip don't break. That's literally it. You know. Well, it's hard. I hit my head so hard, right? I was on the bunny hill and I started going, and my left foot just started to switch positions with my right foot. I mean I didn't move, but going down the hill I started to change the direction I was going, and I ended up going backwards, and my snowboard hooked into the ground and just slammed my head back. Ooh. And I just remember I saw this light, right? I don't know if it was a street light
Concussion.
over my head, but I just saw this light one time, and then I just remember people helping me up.
That's
And
how a
after that,
concussion tastes, guys.
fresh with a side of whipped cream. Literally, because like I just remember being attended to by someone that worked there, and I mean I was fine, but the fact is I'm not doing that again. So
Bro,
the following week I started skiing, and I've never left. Skiing is lit.
the only takeaway I
Right.
get from that is snow is basically white concrete.
It is in a sense if it's compacted hard enough. Because that
Mm.
same snowbank I ran my car in, you kind of unhook my bumper. So it's not this little nice little fluffy snow. Y'all be thinking, let's go play and throw snowballs at each other and all that stuff. Nah, there's levels to this, and that's the level that ain't nobody need to be on. But yeah,
Nah, I
I'd say you
always
should do skiing, man.
like, man, I want to try it all. I've been, what's that one with the shoes and you skate on ice? Ice
Ice
skating?
skating. Oh yeah, we
Yes.
did that.
I did
At
ice
the
skating
ice rink in
twice
Waterloo.
with everyone in them. I think it was in Waterloo both times, or no?
Yeah, I think the place was officially in Kitchener, which
Uh,
is the city next to Waterloo. Same thing.
yeah,
Everybody
same
calls it the
thing.
same thing. Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, yeah,
But
how did you
yeah,
find that experience compared to
bro.
like your like the way you thought it was gonna be versus what it actually was?
So I've never did anything with involving balance like that.
Mhm.
Never been rollerblading. I would like to try that. So when I went there, this is me. Oh, that's gonna be easy. I think I can balance myself enough on a blade. So, oh, the blades for the shoes are actually thicker than I thought they would be for some reason. I thought they were gonna be like knife thin at the bottom, but they're
Mhm.
actually broader. So I thought I was gonna break my ankle, to be honest. But then when I went on and I stood up, I was just like, oh, this is not too bad. I just
Mhm.
didn't know how to propel myself.
Oh,
And
okay. So I
yeah,
get
so
yeah,
trying to walk is like I was just literally shuffling to move
yeah.
forward and hold on to the rails. But then after I realized, well, because Akil got the hang of it quicker than I thought.
You know what? I saw that. I remember that. Now you're saying it too. I'm like, there's no way this is your first time.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm just like, this guy been lying to me.
Maybe he used to rollerblade at some point because
Maybe.
what he just keeping a secret because he just I'm taking the humble route. You know, you trying to
Kudos to
flex.
him because I would have been flexing. But nah, but yo, it was I honestly I couldn't remember the last time I fell down. I didn't want to fall down because the ground was cold, and I'm not a fan of cold. Okay, but yeah, it was
Into that.
difficult because I every time I felt like I was gonna fall, I would grab it for everyone or Evian or something, and everyone was sick of it. He was sick of it. This one time I'm falling, I'm trying to grab this one, like, touch me. Look
Yeah,
at me.
literally, you can't touch me, bro, because I'm no good either, bro. So if you fall in and you hold me, I'm going down with you. I said, no, two of us looking like Boo Boo the Fool.
Next to the
Just
I
over here,
fall
legs up in the
down.
air.
And I'm just like, wow. When I fell down good because I'm just like, bro, I can't tell I to fall on my
Like,
ass.
good solid fall down.
Good follow. Like literally, gravity failed me and I fell. And I'm just like, well, can't trust nothing anymore.
Yeah, just,
And when
I
I
think,
tried to get up, it's like my hands didn't say nope,
worse.
nope.
Scoop, scoop, scoop.
Every time I'm moving, I'm on my knees. I'm just trying to get a decent foot. You should see me. Look
Mm,
like I don't want to say retarded, but I look retarded.
yeah, bro. Literally, I would still recommend it to everyone who
Oh,
hasn't
for
done it
sure.
before
For
because it's
sure.
literally all about the experience of doing it. And you hear me saying that now, and I want you to know I'm probably going to contradict myself later on, just because we're not talking about this. Because if we're talking about things like skydiving and things of that nature, I don't care about what I'm experienced because I'm not doing it.
Oh no, I'm doing those things. Yeah, I'm doing
You
everything.
are a madman, but
Nah.
that's fair. You can be a
I'm
madman over there.
I'm curious though. I'm curious. I would at least like to experience everything at least one time so I can
Mm.
talk about it. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
as my
Yeah.
heart content. Like if I haven't experienced it, I can only sit down and listen because I don't have the right to say. You know.
Mm.
So yeah,
I
I
like
want to do these kind
to
of
do it at like a
activities.
lower level,
Nah.
like the whole. Okay, here's my thing. Right, skydiving. You're falling from. You're not even falling at a controlled rate. You're just falling at whatever gravity pulls you at. Right? What's that?
Until you
Nine
hit
point one eight.
until you hit a constant speed, you know, and then you
Yeah.
don't feel like you're
Right.
falling anymore.
But like, there's nothing stopping you from not falling anymore except for that parachute, which may or may not work depending on the circumstances of that entire situation.
It's a good thing parachutes come with two. They
Okay.
have the standard and then they have the emergency.
Bro, it's still not something that's like control. Like, I'm not. I mean, it's less control than a roller coaster is, right?
And
By
let
far.
let's be honest, right? If you're going down, you pull both of them and nothing happen. I'm pretty sure the diving instructor would dive down, grab you, and connect you to his shit. So
Yeah.
you in three sets of safety mechanisms there for you, like your two parachutes and the instructor who's taking you on the skydiving trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Well,
you,
right.
you have that, man. Just do it. Peer
Yes,
pressure.
I don't think I can. I really would not be able to even set foot on the plane knowing that that's what I'm going up in the sky to go do.
So let me get this straight. If your friends them jumping out the plane, you're not gonna jump out the plane?
No, I waving.
Your mother is
Nope.
proud. Your mother is proud.
I ain't that. I was never that man, bro. That's why y'all are the ones with all the wild story adventures, and I'm the one that's always listening.
Bro, if my friend jumping off a hill, bro, they're not stupid. I'm jumping off. Something's going on here that I don't know about.
I'm like, I just want to hear about it.
Like logically thinking, like, why you jumping off a mountain, bro? Like a cliff, really? And I'm like, no, just trust me. I'm like, all right, all right.
Yeah, not me. I ain't built that way, bro. Like roller coasters, I think I judge my like the whole idea of skydiving off of my experience with roller coasters. Just because that whole downward, the force you're feeling, the G's acting against you, it's not fun.
It is not.
I,
It
I
really
don't I
isn't.
don't receive any form of enjoyment from doing it. I don't
Nah,
like the rush
bro,
because
I
the rush is
know.
a rush. I think of that type of rush as the same type of rush you feel when you're about to die.
Bro,
Like, so yo,
my heart is racing right now, reliving that moment.
like, it's
I,
literally like you're just going, and then literally it's like you're moving faster than the rate at which your soul can keep up with you. So it's like my physical state is peeling away from my soul. So I'm leaving my soul behind up on the top of the the roller coaster while I'm going down. I don't like that. There's nothing fun about it. Like, even being with people enjoying themselves. Like, I'm the type of person I can enjoy myself with people if they're enjoying themselves, right? But literally, I'll be miserable in that situation because I get no enjoyment out of that at all. I don't see the point. I'll hold your bags. I have more fun watching you have fun than I do having fun with you on a roller coaster. That ain't for me. That's just me.
nah, you see what it is for me, right? Before I went on a roller coaster, the closest thing I had to fall out the sky is when the plane hit turbulence and they do that kind of drop, or when they
Oh,
landing and so they kind of go down and like ooh, feel like in my
hate
stomach,
that. Hate
When
that.
I went to what place name? Coney Island. That was his name. In
No, yeah,
Vaughan.
right.
Yeah, in
Oh
Vaughan.
no,
What that place called?
Canada's Wonderland.
Yes, boss. Wonderland.
Canada's Wonderland.
So when I went to Wonderland, right, they had like 3 sets of roller coasters, right, that we could go on. So I went on the first one by myself. No friends, no none, just me. And I went on it. It was a small loop-de-loop one. And it went quick, right? And the lady tell me, put away the GoPro, this is me. Can't tell me what to do. So I hold on to the videos on YouTube, just go. Right? So I'm there now, and when the roller coaster shoot off, I said, mistake. Should have put this GoPro in my bag. Right? So I'm holding on for dear life. Right? And I'm shutting my eyes, and this is me. Man, don't be a pussy. Open your eyes. What is this? Right? So I'm fighting my skins to
Yep.
open,
To open
my
your
eyelids to
bro.
open. I'm doing the whole loop to do. After the whole thing done, right? It happened in seconds. This is me. Whoa, you done already? I get my money's worth. So this is me. All right, this was easy. I'm gonna go do that big one, right? That big red one. So I go up to there, right, to do that one, and I realized it's a different ball game because I heard the roller coaster let off, and it took a good while for it to come back, right? And I watched the roller coaster go up, go down, go up, and this is me. Whoa, on the steps where I'm at right now, I can see the small of the roller coaster down there. So this is me. This is something different. So now I'm strapped in. This lady tell me, okay, sir, you cannot walk with anything that will fall out your pockets on this elevator, on this roller coaster. So you have to put everything in a bag and they put it in this little box or whatever. When the roller coaster went up to the highest point, right? I looked down. This is me. Oh man, this nice boy. I like it up here. This is cool. And then he started leaning over and creaking over the edges. And this is me. That's gonna be scary, right? So the moment I'm looking at that, I'm trying to imagine what the drop will feel like. Because I've jumped off a bunch of high buildings and things before. I know that instant to drop it. But let me tell you something, right? The moment that thing went over the tip and it went down, it was like a 90. I didn't even think I think it's more than 90 because it has a little hump. So it'll come down and then curve and then fall.
Oh, is this Behemoth?
Yes.
The big yeah. That's the first one I
Right?
went on. Regrets.
And bro, the voice that came out didn't even come out because this is exactly what happened. Right? And I could hear the levels of screaming until it was nothing.
Man, mute.
The noise was stuck in my throat. It didn't even leave my mouth. So now I'm screaming only in my mind. Right? So I'm falling and I'm scared, right? And I'm trying to shut my eyes. I'm like, oh no, this is me. Nah, man. You have to experience, you need to open your eyes. So I had my eyes open and I'm crying. And I just like, oh man, I'm flying. I have to treat this like I'm flying. I'm like, think of Superman. Think you're Superman right now. And then I literally went through it. I was just like, yo, this is fun. I came off of that roller coaster shaking. I literally, as soon as I came off, I did a voice note and I walked straight out of that place and went straight home. Nothing else to see. I just went straight home. Didn't even go look for my pictures or get a video of how the whole roller coaster. I didn't. Came right off, went straight to the gates, went home.
So that you're gonna do it again?
Oh, I would. At that moment I wasn't. But after a week, I said, yeah, I could do that again.
Man, I just don't. I honestly hate the fact that I don't get any enjoyment out of it because it's not even like a state of mind that I know I can convince myself I can enjoy this. Because the first time I went in, I told myself, fam, I've never done this before in my whole life. This is going to be the best day ever. And literally, all my words got pulled right out my mouth and shoved in the trash the moment I stepped on Behemoth. Because actually, not even the moment I stepped on, because it's the same roller coaster you're talking about. You went up, and then the roller coaster does this thing where when it gets to the top and it starts to creak over, and you're like, okay, now it's time to go. It stops. Like it jams in a way that just clicks, and then you kind of get thrusted forward a bit, and you're just like, huh? And you look down, and you're like, it goes more than 90 degrees down for a little section. So there's a part of when you look down, you don't see the track no more. So it looked like you're just going, and there's no track for you to continue on. And then you start and then it's just up and down, and then I don't like those that like the corkscrew ones that have like the spin. And my head big, right? If you know me, my head big, right? And you know, larger objects with larger masses, tend to, be affected differently by different forces. So, so when the roller coaster be spinning my head, just flinging in any direction, any trajectory that the freaking force is pulling my head, and I'm like, yo, I can't do this. Like, this is not fun. I'm like, I be forcing my head back to try and just keep it in one
Yeah.
position.
Because I was like, I don't want to
It's
get
not for
like,
me.
I don't want to get like whiplash or something. I'm split my neck up here. And then everybody's like, what was fun? And they're like, what did you say? I'm like, I'm dead basically. you know?
Yeah.
Yo, what really bummed me out is because I saw some little kids younger than me and some older folks, like older than my parents, going on these rides. I'm just like, yo, they don't have an age restriction.
Nah,
And then
bro.
people going up, you're like, if today is the last, like, bro, my heart was touching my throat when we were going down. Okay? I'm pretty sure that old lady that was on there was supposed to die. But then again, my heart weak because I'm trying to figure out like how can you handle this much adrenaline, this much? I'm like, they've been doing this since they were like 5, I'm sure. I don't know.
Really, I think that's what it is too. They just brought up. Actually, nah, because I be like there was a bunch of other people that when it was my first time, it was also their first time. Actually, no, that was a separate time. When I did it, we also used to go in high school, like for like when school's about to end. Like our
Hmm.
school would actually take us to Wonderland, and there was some people there that it was their first times, and these people were just loving it all. Like this one guy, right? This Asian guy, his name is Albert, right? Well, that's his English name. He first time, right? He pulls up and he goes on. I think did you go on this one, Leviathan? It's the big blue one.
No, they went into.
Oh, it was on show. Okay, yeah. There's this big blue one. Well, at the time, it was like the newest one that they had, and my boy went on, bro, and he went up, and whole ride went through all good. He came off, and he just had the biggest smile on his face, right? So they're waiting in line for pictures, and now the pictures start showing up on the screen. And mind you, this guy is the happiest guy in the group, right? We look at the picture when he was coming down the slope. My boy was passed out. This guy was slumped. His head was literally leaning over frontwards on his chest, and
How
he
could
was
that be safe?
slumped.
How could that
He
be
was
safe?
slumped, bro, and he couldn't wait to go back on again,
Bro, the fact that your body just did low, muscleless, just getting flailed around on
bro.
this
Like
ride,
his
like
head was
swing,
literally.
swing, swing, up, down. I'm like, bro,
I'm
your
like,
neck has to.
bro,
What if you're accustomed to just lie down all the time, so now your neck real weak?
just weak.
So you go on
Just
this
left his head
roller
at the top of the
coaster,
right.
like,
Yeah, that's roller coasters, man. I still say, if you haven't done it, try it. It's worth the experience to at least try. But let that be the first thing you're trying if you're thinking or exploring other things where forces related to gravity are involved. Let that be the testing or the water.
I could tell you which one not to ever take. There's this one next to the Leviathan that goes right up. It's just like a pole with a bunch of chairs, and then it goes up, and it just
Drop
falls.
zone.
Yes.
Drop zone. Y'all can look these up, these rides up. Behemoth is the one Timon was talking about. The one with my friend is Albert. And this one he's talking about now is called Drop Zone.
No matter how you put that, that's literally dying. Because
Yo.
one, you're not just falling out the sky and free to freak out and go like, and then catch your composure. This one, you're strapped down, so you feel the force pull you down.
Plus the weight of the chair you're in.
Yes, the weight of the chair, right? And you fall. I'm there in the line now, and I'm looking at these people going up. I'm just like, no,
like no, I'm stepping out of line, bro.
But I'm shitting myself. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna shit,
it's,
and I'm gonna fall, and I'm gonna throw up. That's what's gonna happen. I don't need that kind of pressure.
Nah, there's no need for it. But like I said, if you haven't, give it a shot. You just might be the one to like it. But yeah,
I'm not telling you how to do that one. I wouldn't do it, so I'm not telling you how to do it.
Have you been go-karting?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I didn't get any good. I didn't get any good footage because I was young, and I didn't know how to record with my GoPro. Because what I did was I put it on my chest.
On the chestnut one?
Yeah, and then the only thing I saw was basically the steering wheel and some sky. I was like, I should have put it on the helmet.
On the helmet, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you live, you learn. You live, you learn.
You live and learn. You know, you learn something new every day.
There's lots to do, especially like I'm happy that I got to do some things that I could have never have done in Antigua, because And the thing is, I didn't make an effort to do these things myself. My school did it, so it kind of got me involved.
Mm,
And I'm not the type of person to really go out of my shell on my own accord to do shit. Timon
yeah.
went to Wonderland by himself. Ain't nobody asked him. Timon was like, I want to do that, so he's gonna do it. That's Timon. For me, y'all have to say, hey, let's do this. And I'll be like,
No,
yeah,
you see,
sure.
but the reason I had to go by myself because like I was trying to get people to come with me, but like everybody already went before, so they weren't in no. Well, I never done that.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
I
yeah.
so I'm just like, bro, everybody lives so far. I did not on the same schedule as me, so it's either I don't go or I go by myself. So I was really at the end of my rope. I was just like, all right, bed.
It is what
Yeah,
it is.
it is what it is. I have to do it myself.
Man went, got his belly full, and went straight home.
And went straight home. Had a story to tell.
The man called me right after telling me everything.
Oh.
I feel like I was on the phone while you're walking out the gate. Literally.
Okay, as soon as I came off, I just walked straight. I made a call and walked straight to the exit. But nah, like all these activities I do, I hear a lot of black people talk about like, nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. That's a white activity. That's a white people thing. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah, white people be doing these crazy things, but sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they really be
A
fun.
lot of the times they'd be really
A lot of the
fun.
time, in my
That's
head, I'm
why-
just like, why does it have to be a black and white thing? Why can't it just be
Bro.
a fun sports thing?
Yeah, literally. Why can't it just be some things don't have any business really being a white versus black thing, you know, like especially like winter sports. Literally the reason why black people aren't necessarily very popular in winter sports is because well, we're not usually found in places where there's winter, you know.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's
But
not where we originate. So as a whole, as a people, you know, it's not something as a whole we are associated with, right? So it's like, you know, but white
but
people, quote unquote white people fun
uh,
things that they do for fun are lit. And that's why I came and I'm like, bro, I'm making white friends because I know what it's like to be black.
oh yeah, for sure, I already lived it.
You know,
Like, come on, give me some new
give me
experiences.
something new, bro. Like I'm not like people look at these things as if like, oh, yeah, that's why it's lame. It's like, no, it's not lame. It's just it's just
It's
different.
different,
It's something
bro.
that's a different experience that you haven't, and you're limiting yourself on it too because you just have this perspective that it's not gonna be fun because it's a white person thing. You know?
Bro, ever since I was in Antigua and I used to see the tourists come in, I used to always be in awe. Because like when I look at them, I would not know how they think, how they viewing things, and that used to leave me puzzled. Because this is me, like, if I was in your shoe, I would be thinking these things around these people, around the scenery. I know, I don't want to say I know how black people think, but because I'm black, I have a kind of insight as to they could probably be thinking one or two things in the
Yeah, yeah.
situation. But when it comes to white people, I'm just like, I draw a blank. I don't know where. So I was curious to hell. Because I'm like, they do so many things, they say so many things, they think, but I don't know where this is all coming from, and I'm intrigued by white people.
Yeah.
So yeah, when
It
I made
used to
my
be like the
friends,
tourist
I'm
thing,
just
man.
like, I want to do the things that they do on the regular, so I can experience it and see where they're coming from in the
Yeah.
smallest, you know.
It's like they're people at the end of the that's what we need to understand too. We're all people. Like we just have different backgrounds, different stories as to how we got where we are, right? So like the fact that a bunch of people on a whole are throwing all this light and excitement on this activity, you're really gonna look at that and be like, not gonna do that because that's white people stuff.
Yeah,
Like you
right.
don't like. Is it just the way we think? Like, or is it the fact that we've experienced more than maybe someone who's closed-minded in that sense? That we see it as that's definitely something we should do. Because life
Don't know.
life is there for us to enjoy, to be safe. We should be cautious. Not saying you should be reckless or just risking your life in everything you do, but like we should enjoy life to the best of our abilities, man. And if that means doing white people shit, it is what it is. I
In
don't
my
care.
head, the only thing I can like think about white people class it as a white people thing is it has something to do with like their price range. Because maybe they can't afford to go on the ski trip on that big, slope or that big mountainside. They're just like, well, that means I have to go rent a cottage, get the gear,
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
this thing. I can't do that. I don't have the money. That's why people think. That's the
Hmm.
only how I
I
can
can
think
see,
about.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's why they classify it as a
Yeah.
white person thing because it's out there, price range.
Yeah,
Because
could be a
honestly,
possibility.
tell me, you can say football is a soccer, football, whatever. Is a white person think, nah, you can buy some cleats and a football and go run some game.
Exactly. It's crazy
But
because, like, even back, in like the world. Well, I don't know if this is a good example because a lot of people know, but like cricket was a very white sport.
mm,
I think it pretty much still is a white sport. It was generally like white people. And I don't know if that's why cricket isn't as prominent. Actually, that wouldn't be an excuse because soccer full of black
yeah,
people now. Yeah, yeah. But like, but people are not gonna look at cricket and be like, oh, that's a white people thing. Because like one of the best teams to ever come through cricket is a team full of Negroes from the Caribbean or the West Indies. So
hey,
it's like,
hey,
what do you think that is? It's like they had to give it a try, and then they realized, what? Oh, these white people are onto something. And then it's the same thing. Basketball wasn't basketball started by white people?
bro. I always wanted to try baseball because this is me. But imagine if you put somebody who play baseball
Mm.
in front of a cricket wicket. You can't miss.
Mm.
You have more real estate to bat the ball.
Who you mean? Who? The pitcher or the batter?
The batter. Because
If
like
you put him
usually
to
they,
bat in
they
front of wicket.
yeah, a wicket. So
Mm.
usually they have that small thin bat and the balls ain't coming at them straight. If the man had a wider bat, he hitting everything. Now put him in front of the
Facts.
cricket. The only thing you have to factor in is a bounce, which will slow down that ball.
See, that's where you're wrong. The bounce, yeah, it will slow down the ball, but it's not about the speed of the ball.
Like, it's about the
Because
timing, no?
no, man throwing the ball with a spin on it. So when it hit the ground, you don't know where it's going to come off, what angle it coming off the ground at.
Bro, I play a lot of cricket. I have a broad bat. I'm tipping that shit somewhere.
Yeah, well, when we spin on you, you're gonna know. When you get a good spin on you, you will know because you will see, okay, it coming off right there, and the ball goes straight over your head, and you don't understand how.
But I think about it though, like the whitest, what I can think about right now is hockey.
Right, so
And
I
that
can think
was
of is
actually,
lacrosse.
mm, no, I'm thinking about that. But hockey was actually from like, it really originated from black folks, but y'all didn't know that. So
Okay,
what,
awesome.
I could be capping, but I think I'm not. But honestly, I think it's like some black folks that really like start the whole hockey that we know today. And some white people just like, oh, that's kind of cool. Y'all stop doing that, and we're gonna do it. So what really happened was they saw them doing it this way with the whole point system and people playing. Because
Mhm.
how the setup was is one person, there's a goal, one person standing and he hitting inside the goal. Black people now with their family and siblings just like, what? You had the ball? And start running down the person on the ice and try to take the ball so they can take the shot. Then they realize that seems way more fun. So now they made up a whole league and everything, and they're like, well, we have a nice league going on with the whole principle that y'all, all the terms and stuff y'all set up, but no Negroes allowed in this, this league. So I guess you guys should probably stop doing that, and we'll just do this. And then it became a white thing.
You just giving that explanation gave me an idea for a segment we should do,
Ooh.
which is the segment is when we explain to the public or our audience how we think certain things came about.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's just so lit.
Yeah. So regardless as to the facts, as to what we know, or whatever is general knowledge, we don't care about that. We're gonna tell y'all what we think.
Should I call it fun fake facts?
So that was your first fun fake fact from Timon.
Hey.
Well, we can make it sound cool, let's say, in the future. So it's all about that growth. So you already know. But no,
Ooh.
man.
So something else that you want to like bring to like the table is like what if scenarios. Because when I'm at work, I have a lot of time to think and listen to shit. A lot of times. I just, I use my eyes and my hands to really do my work. Everything else is fake game. And while I'm working, thoughts run into my mind. I'm just like, yo, what if this situation and what if that situation? And there's a lot of friends that can't really tolerate all the voice notes and long voices that I do because my voice notes be like 20 minutes long on a bunch of nonsense.
Sinful behavior is what that is.
Yeah. But everyone puts up with it really well. So that's why he's here doing the podcast with me. But now my what if scenarios be crazy. So a lot of them, they be wild and everyone can't really wrap his mind around that scenario ever playing out because he's a logical guy.
Very logical.
Yeah. So he just can't get behind the realm. But recently he has been.
I've been trying.
So
yeah.
he been trying. So it's getting interesting now. So every time I have a what if, he's just like interesting, but let's save that for the podcast.
For the podcast, because like I just feel like if we talk about things beforehand, the second time we talk about it, it's like we're trying to regurgitate it rather than it being original. So definitely, I feel like that's the way. And then also with the what ifs too, that's how we can get you guys in the community involved. Well, in our little community bubble with the podcast. And then you can join us on the socials, and we can post like what ifs in like Instagram posts, and y'all hop in on the comments and just like boom, 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 boom. We have like some back and forth, or even save the talks for like a clubhouse night. You feel me?
Ooh,
So
for sure.
either way, we're just trying to find ways we can have all y'all involved because it's a community we want to bring together, have fun, be able to talk about anything. So things to
Yeah.
come, things to come.
Because I think one of the what if scenario that brought to him the time was like, what if heaven was like segregated? There was a black side and there was a white side, and probably in the middle where everybody mix up is where the Mexicans and stuff be staying. And,
Yeah,
I, and
all
I'm
the
just
other
like,
cultures.
yeah, all the other cultures. This is the Toronto of heaven, basically.
Melting pot.
I was like, yo, it would be kind of lit now because now everybody's in heaven. We just chilling. And we probably on the lawn over here with our, houses and mansions, a goal. And we just relaxing, roughing up, climbing trees, breaking some branches, falling down, doing some dumb shit, wilding, like black people usually do, having fun. And then the white folks on the other side are more composed, and they're just like, how about we read some, news from the Angel Light news company? I don't know, I'm just saying shit, right? And they're just over there, just meditating, doing some hot yoga and working out the sweat and flexing their wings and stuff. I feel like at one point they could be like, yo, the man's over there chatting joke and laughing. Because think about it like this, right? Everything I'm gonna tell you is coming from a religious background, because I'm Adventist, right? Born and raised. So my mind thinks about these religious topics a lot. And from what I know is when you go to heaven, God's gonna be like, yeah, all right, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mess around with your memory, and I'm gonna wipe away all that sinful thinking, that thought process that helps to bring about sin. But everything else is gonna stay the same. Cause like, what's the point in just wiping your memory and changing you?
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense.
it's removing the sinful nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what made you, your choices and stuff. Right? So they just get rid of your sinful nature, basically. And I'm thinking before God does that, because I feel like God have a sense of humor, he can let us come up in heaven for like the first couple of months with a whole mind, state of mind and everything, just to see how things feel, even though he knows. I go up there and I feel like it can still be judgmental for the first couple of weeks. But segregated, like, just
Do you think
imagine.
the segregation is going to be by law or by choice? Like, you just think we're going to be, because I know as people on a whole, on earth, like we stick together with our own in a
See,
sense.
it's choice,
Right?
because we still gonna have the freedom of choice. So I
Yeah.
feel like he's not gonna mess with our brains for the first month or two.
Mm.
And heaven's going to be segregated by choice, because they're back like, oh, yo, look, Jimmy and Joe over here, let's go line with Jimmy and Joe. And then we go over line with Jimmy and Joe, and then I realized my friend Steve not with me. Steve gonna play with
Right.
his other homies and them.
Yes, sir. Tyrone and Terrell over in the corner doing their thing.
Right?
And like they ain't really messing with Jim and Joe. So
Yeah.
segregation.
Segregation. So I'm just like, come meet up with them in the little melting pot with the Mexicans and the mad.
Yeah.
But everybody on their own side. And it's not like no malice or anything to each other. Just like they stay with their own.
Yeah.
But
I feel like because like, but that's the thing with the whole idea of heaven. It's the things I think. Well, the things that are going to be there aren't things we're going to be able to comprehend now, because we can see things that our minds couldn't even process if it was to appear in front of us today. So it's like with just that thought, it's just I'm stuck right there, both feet stuck in the ground as to where this goes for. Like, what direction do we go in? Because if we don't know the things that are going to be there, we're not going to be able to fathom them now either, right? The idea of them. So like,
that is so true. Because like, if you think about it, right, when they talk about stuff in the Bible, there's some ugly ass creatures there. There's like a bear that walks lopsided with ribs out his mouth. Could be fangs. We don't know. It's a dragon with talking horns and metal teeth, which is mad weird. There's like an angel that's Loki, a chariot with 4 faces, and one of the faces is an eagle, and the other one is a fish, and the other one, I'm just like, bro, it's hard to take the Bible seriously when they're out here, painting this kind of image. But then in my head, I'm just like, if there's a veil over our minds and over our eyes, we can't perceive what true art or true beauty is if we just look in it by our eyes. You know what I mean?
Because the things we looking at, like you just said, we looking at those as that's absurd. Like, that
Yeah.
can never exist.
So,
But that's
like,
just because we don't have the scope. We're not operating on the same scale.
exactly. It's like all I know is human beings. If I saw an alien that looked just like a humanoid alien that had no eyebrows, I'm be like, Maram, that is ugly,
You check?
right? Because that's not what I'm used to.
Literally.
Like when you see people who like make art and stuff, sometimes you wonder like what's going through their mind because this abstract art is just weird. But the art community will go off, oh my goodness, this person was sent by God. Look at how this is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just
hype
like
it up.
they see things differently and they appreciate the difference in certain things.
And that's just because of the scope. Like they're just used to, that type of thing, right? They're thinking along the same lines and stuff. So like for us that we're not used to it, we don't really understand it. I mean, y'all talking about this $1 million picture and all we see some paint splattered on the canvas.
Right.
It's like, bro, I get it, but like even if you were to gift this to me, I'd probably just sell it because like I see no value in the way it looks.
Yeah.
But like I can equate it to like the value that it's worth in terms of monetary value, right? So I'm gonna sell that because I can understand money, right? So that's why it's gonna be a better deal. So I think that's why we kind of like downgrade, or we try and perceive things in a way that we understand it. So when we think about the things that might be in heaven, or even the things that we see in the Bible, it's like we still try and compare it to what
Things
we
that
know
we
to
know.
be true.
Yeah.
Which is that's counterproductive because the man fully telling us, boss, it don't make sense you do that because these things, bro, y'all not ready.
Bro. Which it had me thinking the other day too. It's just that God did tell people like no matter what it is that you think. I think that's in a what if scenario I had now. I think like in the Bible, God was saying that yo, when you get to heaven, it's gonna be so fun. No matter what you think of, I could top it. No matter what your imagination springs of what heaven will like, I can guarantee you for sure it's gonna be better than that. So in my head, this is me. Clearly, heaven is working on iOS 13. And the reason I'm saying that is because if just imagine it, infinite space, right? That means God can create infinite worlds, infinite realities, infinite galaxies, right? And I have all eternity basically to go search them all. How can I be bored, right? Because if I'm working on God's time, a day in human years could be 1,000,000 years. I don't even think I'm saying that right. Like a million
You're still
years
trying to
me,
quantify it in human in the
I
things you
know,
understand.
1,000,000 years to God could just be a day for us. So I'm gonna come off of that fucking topic. Sorry. But my thing is, right? Yeah. My thing is, just imagine you go and say, ooh, I'll go to heaven and I bet heaven don't have a car with 10 rims. I don't know why. But you go to heaven and you meet a car with 13 rims. Tell me if your mind not go blown. You got 12 on your mind, you go up and you see one with 13. What's even possible? What's even thought?
One up you. Literally.
One up me. So just imagine if I said, bro, we sick if I go to heaven and saw a world made by only me. Like everybody who populated that planet was me.
Sounds like a Rick and Morty episode.
Right? And then I go to heaven and God's like, oh yeah, we have one of those, but you know what else we have? We have a planet filled with people that you like all the females that you find fascinating. And I'll be like, Jesus, I did not see that coming. He just one up me. You know what I mean? So I feel like heaven, we dictate or determine what heaven is going to be like. So whatever we think of,
it's going to be like
it's going to exist one up. You check?
Like everything we think, better.
It's like, better. That's your perception. Not by much, just a little.
But then, and then as our expectations increase, you just keep going up.
Keep one up. Just does that. So
because like, if we can fathom it, then that means he would be wrong because he said we won't be able to fathom it.
We won't be able to fathom it. So literally, our imagination is what heaven is gonna exceed. We create our heavens in a matter of speaking.
Yeah.
Whatever you think heaven is
Once
gonna
it's
be
in
like.
accordance with his teaching,
Check no kind of I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna go there.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel you. Man, life is interesting though. Like, and the thing is, we just have to wait and see.
Oh, for sure.
That's the thing. Patience, man.
Man, I can't believe
Oh,
y'all just sit down and listen to me rant just now. I bet none of that made sense, but y'all still listen. I love y'all. Thanks,
yo, y'all.
listeners.
That's some real ones right there. Let me see if I pull this one out.
Nah, nah, but like my brain really be going on sometimes. Like I be hitting all kind of walls. Like out of nowhere, like I could be listening to a song and the person said one word and it will just trigger like a creative spur in my brain. Or I could be listening to a podcast and somebody says something and I'm just like, huh, nobody ever say this. And then you just go off. It's crazy. It's fun sometimes. But I wish all this could happen when I sleep. Because then that would save me lots of
Oh, you
time to
dream.
focus on shit.
Facts.
Because
You just
I,
like because you don't
bro,
dream, eh?
I don't dream. I think 2 years ago, after, like, okay, I can't even say this properly. I used to dream annually, like one dream a year. And then I think from since 2020 or 2019, they started to become more frequently, as in I got like 4 or 5 in a year. The other day I had like some crazy ass dreams. As soon as I had them, I go to everyone and my other friend. I'm just like, bro, dreams. And I used to think about them as being poetic and prophetic and stuff like that. Cause I'm just like, they have some kind of meaning because I don't have them. So when I do have them, they mean something. I'm always trying to interpret my dreams. But sometimes when I do have these dreams, I don't think they were interpreting because they be wild. They be
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. My dreams are pointless too, but I don't remember them often, and I feel that's because I wake up. Okay, so I sleep through the night, but when it gets to like 6 a.m., I start sleeping in intervals where I'm like 6 o'clock, I'll wake up just randomly, and then I go back to sleep, and I wake up again at like 8, and then like, but every time I go back to sleep, it's like the sleep gets sweeter, you know. So it's like I just keep going, and sometimes like if I ain't got nothing to do, boss, 1 o'clock will catch me, and I still didn't even wake up yet, you know. And like I feel like my dream actually ended when I woke up at 6, but because I kept going back to sleep, I had too much time to forget it.
Ah,
So I was like, I'm like, did I dream? Or like, I don't know anymore, you know? But my dreams just be like pointless. Like just stupid things happen, but they always have to do with something that I saw or I was thinking about. It's never something totally random. But I know it has something. It's just like it just replays something that I maybe saw on TV or just a scenario that maybe we talked about, just something that I've experienced or came across. It just comes back to my dream, and maybe that's why I don't even remember it like that.
yeah, I don't be in dreams like that. My dreams are never anything that happened in life. But let me tell you what else happened that's like interesting is deja vus. Because I read somewhere that deja vus are just things that happen in dream, like a set of sequence that just happened in your dream.
Mhm.
And then when they actually happen in real world, it's just like, wait, I lived this before. When it's just that you created that same scenario in a dream at some
And it
point,
just,
and
you
yeah,
know
and it just
what?
line up perfectly.
You know what? I've never, as you know, like you read that, I've never took the chance to like look into it, but I've had my fair share of deja vus. And here's just one, for example, and it tripped me out the time it happened. I was in Antigua, right? I remember when I had the dream, and I remember when I had the deja vu experience. So I had the dream. I was still in Antigua. I didn't know these people, but I just in the dream I was sitting down in a cafeteria somewhere with some Asian kids, right? And like we were just chilling and laughing and whatever, right? And I remember I was just like sitting back on the chair. Just it was like a good time, and I like everything about that dream. It stuck with me for some reason. And then when I came to Canada, I went to high school. Literally, there was one day I used to work in the cafeteria after for supper. So I used to like help serve and then we'll help clean the cafeteria and stuff. And basically the money that we'd earn would go to our tuition. So it's like we're helping pay our tuition by working like on site on campus jobs, right?
Mm.
So I'll be doing that. And then I remember like one day after I was done cleaning early and everything, I went back out in the cafe and I was sitting down around the table with some of my praise team friends, right? They're all Filipino, this particular group, right? And I remember I was just sitting back, leaning back on the chair, leaning against the wall, and then I froze. because I was like, yo, I seen this entire thing play out already. And I'm like, this is weird to me because I knew this. It's not like this happened last week and we're all chilling here. This particular setting, I saw this before. And I'm like, bro. And I just sat there and I held my head and like everyone's like, yo, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Because if I was to start explaining, y'all won't believe me. But I seen this situation before. Nothing even happened. It wasn't like something was supposed to take place. It was just the setting and the layout. And it just the fact that my brain instantly remembered the fact that I'm like, bro, is this
Right?
real? Like, what is this? And then I was thinking, is this like a past life thing? Because I mean, at the time, I believe in that.
Uh,
But, I mean, I don't think I'm a believer in it now. But I was just like questioning everything, but I never really looked up. So now you say that, makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense, but then
It literally makes
sometimes
sense.
it don't because I remember this one girl in high school. She had a deja vu moment, and she was like, "Deja vu is happening." I was like, "What happened?" And she's like, "And the teacher's gonna come in and say this," and the teacher came in and said this. So I was like, "That's a Raven shit."
No, it's not. Oh, but yeah, because I don't know what that is. You can't. No, no, no. I don't think it was deja vu at that point. Because
Wait,
I feel like deja vu, you know it because you you experience it, and you're like, wait, that happened already. Not like
but you
seeing
see,
the future.
so when she said deja vu and she said that shit and I saw it happen in my head, this is
Mhm.
me. Okay, if I can remember my deja vus, I can fucking see into the future. That's like some extra percentage. So all the time I used to always remember. So whenever they happen, I was like, it's happening, and I'm just waiting for to see if I can. Like it's coming back to me, but it's not coming back
Mm,
as fast as it's replaying in real life.
yeah.
Yeah, but it isn't it crazy though because like your brain is taking everything that you know, consciously and subconsciously about people's behavior, people's action and reaction to things, stimulate all that in your brain, and then at one point it spits it back out to you when you actually experience it in real life.
Something
Be-
similar along the lines, yeah.
yeah. So once
And you
like
didn't. It wasn't on like you asked for it. It just
yeah,
happens.
it's like the tape caught up with the audio, and now it's syncing up for that small portion of what the brain created in and of
Mm.
itself. So I'm just like, that is unique. Because I remember I had this one dream, and I think it was the beginning of me not having any more dreams. Where I had it was a fucking pointless dream. Let's start there. So I had a dream. So on some inception shit. Had a dream, right? That I was doing some shit. Then I went to sleep. So now I'm two dreams. I'm two levels of dreaming deep. Okay. So in this, okay, let me tell like how it hit me when I woke up. So I'm in this dream. I don't remember it clearly, but this is the take from it. I'm in this dream, life happening, shit happening. I'm about to die. I die, and I wake up the next morning. Whew. All right, that was a crazy ass dream. So I went about my day, brushed my teeth, got my shit together, went to school, had a nice day, came back home, and lying in bed. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, this is me. What just happened? I get up, I brush my teeth, and I went through the day. And I didn't know if I was dreaming or not.
Mm.
So it was so close to like a regular whole routine day.
Yep.
And I'm
I've
just
had one of
like,
those.
bro, am I still in a dream?
Well, yeah, and you just really can't differentiate. It's like a moment where you just have to like actually reevaluate everything.
Yeah, it's not, you have to be like, because you can't do dumb shit because you don't know,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like what if like I'm like, oh yo, it's like so many things you can't even process it. Because that happened to me too. Literally simplest thing. I had a dream that I woke up, got ready for school, and I was in class sitting when I woke up from my dream. So the whole dream worked in a way where literally the events of a regular day played out the exact same way. Nothing extreme, nothing weird that would indicate that something is off. This may not be real. Everything was perfect to the touch, bro. To the T. Yo, when I tell you, it was just step by step, perfect. And I woke up from a perfect situation like that where I thought was real. I couldn't understand why I'm looking at my roof in my room. Because last thing I knew, before I opened my eyes, I was in class. I already pulled up at Adventist school, got in. We already had worship. We were in class sitting. So I'm trying to figure out what is this. It took me a good solid, 5 minutes maybe of sitting and just contemplating. Like, okay, that's what happened. Like you just
That
have
should
to
be
take it apart and just put it back together. Like, okay, that's what's happening here. But
that
it's
should be
disappointing.
scary, bro.
It's
Cause
scary
like,
because you really don't know. It's like, huh?
and I think that's when
Yeah.
things started going so with my dreaming. It's like it didn't come as frequently. Cause in my head, I'm just like, I don't want that to, cause I have some really vivid dreams, right? So I don't
Mm.
want it to a point where it happens again and now I can't differentiate between life or
Right?
illusion.
You have like a what if? Like, what if I was to punch this man in the face because you think you're dreaming, and then you punch
Right?
him and you're
I
like,
punch him and then it's real
real
life. And then
life.
like, what am I supposed to say? Oh my goodness, that hurt my face. I didn't mean to do that. You know?
It's like, yeah.
Or
Yeah, that's
what
the
if
thing. The mind is crazy, bro.
it's
It's
crazy?
like that's and take it in. That happens when we are sleeping. That's when we're out of commission. We ain't doing nothing. This is just our mind just occupied. It's finding something to do in the time that we're not doing anything.
And the thing is, guys, I don't know if you know this, but as a curious person, life isn't fun to have vivid dreams. Because you know how many times on the daily I'm walking and I see things that you clearly should not do, and I'm saying, what happened? Logically, I know what's gonna happen. But
And it's not gonna be good.
curiosity wise, I'm just like, well, then again, you can't be 100% sure on anything in life, you know? But the logic's telling me, bro, don't. But the
That's
curious
gonna
side
be
of me
the
is just
end
like,
of Timon.
maybe, you know? So I have to deal with this curiosity and this. I don't know if I'm in it, bro. It's crazy being me. Crazy being me.
Like, what would you say is like the craziest thing your curiosity has pushed you to do in real life? Like in the sense that you're like, maybe this wasn't the best idea. It's crazy that you have to think this hard because I know there's a lot. So you're actually trying to figure out like you're actually browsing through different times where you did shit.
Yeah, because there was a point in time I was driving blind with my lights off to prove something to myself. And it was so what happened? I was coming from St. Philip's and they have this corner that it's a stupid ass corner, to be honest. You shouldn't even be driving with your eyes closed. At the bottom of that hill, there's rehab, right? The road that they call across there is Crossroads. That's where a lot of people come
That's
and
when you're
sell
going
their
like Half
soul.
Moon Bay
Yeah,
on the
that's
other
where a lot
side.
of people, famous people come and sell their souls, guys. But y'all didn't know that. But yeah, so at Crossroad there's like a dark corner, no lights, no nothing, just a tambourine tree and a corner that leads off a cliffside. So usually when you're passing, you can see if a car is coming because of the lights. Once in a while, there's a guy who drives around there because his car don't have no lights, but he only drives the car at night, right? That wasn't going through my mind at the time, so I'm leaving by my friend's college house, and I drive this route all the time. I turn that corner all the time. At this point, it's a reflex. I'm driving the same speed. I know that corner. So in my head, I'm driving. I'm just like, I bet I could do it with my eyes closed. I know all the potholes in that road. I know where the gravel pull up the steering wheel. I know that road. So while I'm coming on passing the cemetery and I'm turning, like it's a nice little road with a couple corners and stuff. I'm driving and I have my eyes shut and I peep out with one eye. And I'm like, everything going right. I'm driving. I'm like, everything's still going right. So every once in a while, I'm driving my eyes closed and peeping just to make sure it's still going according to
What you think? Yeah.
Yeah. So things going well for me now. So while I'm driving, right, I hear something. What is it me? Nah, it's nothing. Right? And that was the night where the guy without any lights decide he's coming.
Around the same corner you
The
coming around.
same corner. Right? So when I did one of them quick peeks, I didn't see nothing. So I shut my eyes back. And then I hear, "Meow." So I open my eyes and I see this man. We literally he looking at me. What is you fucking Like, I grabbed the wheel and kind of like, whoa, right? And then I turned around, I'm just like, yeah, curiosity almost killed him right there because I just wanted to see if I could do it. I was curious if it was possible or not. I'm just like, I could have died at Crossroad and nobody would have known except that guy.
Literally.
And
in fact,
knowing
you
him,
have the wrong.
Everyone knowing him, I'd have fall off that side and I would just go straight to Freetown.
Yep, nothing to see here.
Nothing to see, none of his business. He had to go there and say, boss, me see a man right off the side of the road last night. I'm making that help you. You see that car in the dark? No matter grab me no. Some yeah, that's the
Yeah.
stupidest thing I've did so far. As I can remember it. I'm curious, it would have killed me there. In terms of curiosity, otherwise, I don't know, jump somebody fence and then there was a dog.
No, I don't even think I'm like whole time you're talking. I've been thinking, and I don't think I've answered that. I don't recall. I be not doing a lot of things because I've already thought of all the possible consequences of the situation, which I don't want any part of. So like, I don't think I've done things out of curiosity. I think I've done things out of a calculated guess or like a calculated assumption that this is how it's going to play out, and I was just wrong. But it wasn't out of curiosity per se.
Nah, the
Because
only thing that stops me from doing some dumb shit is how it's gonna affect my parents.
boss, my whole life revolves around like my family or involving my parents. Like every like so it's like if you can involve me, you can involve them. So that's how I see it. Same way, same thing.
Yeah, so if I was to ever do some dumb shit or say some dumb shit, I'm just like, so how is it gonna come back and bite my parents in the ass? Like,
Yeah,
how is it gonna make them look in the end when this is out
yeah.
in the light?
Because they had nothing to do with this. This was
Nothing
my
to do with
own doing.
it.
They didn't raise me to do this either. I just kind of like I'm just curious, you know.
So yeah, those are the things that keep me sane in life, you know?
Yes.
Because I'm just like, man, I don't want them somebody to say, oh, so they raised to them pick me, blah blah blah.
Mm.
That's what I'm like, yeah, my parents did a fairly decent job raising me. So I don't want to make all the, years of slaving and doing all
Literally
these
go to
things
waste.
go to
Yeah,
waste.
because you know how they're going to see it too.
Yeah.
They why do parents do that though? It's like is it like a generational thing where it's just because it's like an old time thing where people just claim responsibility of their children's actions, or is it just more so on the parents themselves? Because I don't know. I've never really put my parents in a situation for them to be like, where did I go wrong per se? But at the same time, I'm wondering if they're going to be the type that if I did something on my own, if they're going to look at it and be like, where did we fail? Because I think people need to understand that people don't do things for other people. I didn't decide to smoke this joint because my parents taught me not to do it and or I wanted to disappoint them. I just literally said, "Hey, I want to do that," so I did it. That has nothing to do with them or anybody else. I kind of know how what they would think and everything, but like, how is that responsibility of actions? Because as like a husband and wife, right? They fully know that, like your dad knows that his wife's actions, she gonna do what she want to do based off of her decision making process, right? So you would think that they understand each other as humans on that level. But when it comes to their kids, why is it automatically, yo, where do we go wrong? Type of thing. Why can't it be the same thing as I just made a decision? You know?
Because maybe they're thinking of it. I taught you everything that you know. I
Yeah.
raised you how I want you to become. So you should stay in those bounds. So if you do something out of the way, I'm like, I didn't teach
Mm.
you this. Where you pick this up from?
Mm.
And then they're like, shit, I did something wrong. Why this didn't stick or he didn't learn a lesson? Because if he learned that lesson, he wouldn't do this thing.
All right. Like in a sense, but even with that, I almost feel like it's a better situation for you to be a bad kid growing up, and then you grow up into a good kid, a good person. So that if you make mistakes as a good when you're older, then I gonna look at you like, where do we go wrong? Because you used to give them trouble all, they kind of expect trouble from you. So like now that when you're not causing trouble, that's when they're proud of you. Versus when you're a kid, you don't give no trouble, and now you're older, you're doing what you want. Because I think it's that stage when you're older that counts, to
I don't know, I
them
used
at
to give
least.
trouble because when I was growing up as a kid, the only person who licks would really affect me is my old man because for some reason, his hands hit harder than any material that I know of.
Man got the vibranium palms.
Yeah, that dog. So yeah, I used to do some wild things, and I used to be like quick with the mouth because like logically, if you tell me not to do something, you have a reason. So if you can relay that reason to me and it makes sense, I'm not gonna do it. But if you just saying it for saying its sake, I'm not listening to you.
Mm.
Those are the principles I roll by. So when my parents were just like, "Oh, don't do that. Obey your mother and father, because this is the blah blah blah." I'm just like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But God said I had the freedom of choice. Are you better than God? You take away my freedom? Well, yeah, okay. But once you're under my roof, you do what I say. I'm like, all right, fair enough. It's
Fair
your
enough. Yeah, you
house.
see,
Yeah.
because that's a situation where there was a concern. They stated the thing, and then you're like, okay, but there's an issue with that. What you said, and then they clarified it's a seal case.
Yeah. So
you
at
know,
that point, it makes a lot of sense. Your house, like I'm living under your rules, I
fair
do.
enough. You
So
can't
if I
argue
don't,
that.
if I don't want to abide by rules, simple solution is
You
to go
come out
elsewhere. Exactly.
exactly.
If I love the free life for living in this house rent free, then I listen to your rules.
Yeah, that's true. Prioritize. But like
Yeah.
you realize, like with that, that should be like normal thinking. That should be common thinking. But I don't think it is these days. Like, why is it that people growing up, even people that are our age, that just are from a different background, they enter in the world, real life, thinking as if everything is supposed to be given to them the way they want it. Things are supposed to be a certain way. Like the fact that your parents says my rules, my house, my rules, is wrong to them because they deserve their privacy, they deserve this, they deserve that. The thing is, no, when parents, and I like strict parents for this, right? When strict parents don't give you what you want as a kid just because you want it, that actually prepares you for the real world, because the real world is not as generous as your parents. In no way is the real world as generous as your parents, because the real world don't care if you have to sleep hungry tonight. Your parents would, in a hard situation, be like, you know what, here's dinner, and they would not eat. If they're good parents, they would not eat and let you,
It's like
you
they'll
know,
make sure you get some food in your gut before
you
they
know,
really go eat.
make sure you're taken care of, right? But then you, as that child, you're not seeing that what they're doing. You're just seeing everything that is they're not doing. They're not letting you do this. They're not letting you have a party or go to a party or hang out with friends all the time and all that. And you're building hate in your heart for them, but you're missing the bigger picture, you know? And then you get into the real world thinking, oh, I can't wait to get away from my parents because my house, my rules, let me just get out. And you go out in the world for the wrong reasons. And then you realize that the situation you are with in your parents, yes, you're free, you're more free. So in a mental sense, yeah, you're kind of in a better place. But situational, everything is like it's a dog eat dog world. You check, and people just don't get that. Always quick to just be behind one another. Oh, my parents, nah, 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 nah." And even what were they saying? Marlon was saying in that podcast about the video that you were talking about this week.
Oh yeah. So on I saw a video on Twitter the other day, and then I listened to a podcast and they were talking about the
The same video.
same video is Extra Gravy podcast. They're kind of fun. And in the video, this young lady was going off and saying, parents, don't be surprised when your kids don't come and tell you things, because you make it impossible for them to have any faith or trust in you or feel comfortable enough to come to you and talk to you about certain things. Because when they make a simple mistake, you make noise in them and they don't have any consequences in the real world. And then in my head, I heard her and I was like, what she's saying makes sense to a degree, because the example she used was when a child breaks a glass and you make noise in them, you're just treating them, you're just teaching them that, oh, when I do something bad, you're gonna get yelled at or whatever. You're gonna get upset and mad with them, and it's just not gonna transition well over. But in my head, I'm just like, that's cause to scream. That's cause to make some noise. Because if you don't have any, if a little kid breaks a glass and you telling that child, hey, no, don't trouble that. It gonna break. If it breaks, I'm gonna beat you. And that kid still go over there and say, what, this glass? You mean this one that you tell me not to trouble like 10 times? And hit it off the table and it break. And you're gonna say, oh my goodness, why you no, come, don't touch the broken glass. No, hey, listen. And then try to sweep up and then manage. No. If you say, hey, leave the thing, and the child go and hit it off the table and you make more noise, now they realize, oh no, it's a serious thing right now.
Yeah.
I need to stop what I'm doing, and the baby's gonna cry, but he's gonna stop. Because now he's like, I did something totally wrong. I'm assuming when the child grows up, you change your methods. You don't have to make all that noise because now the knowledge
They know,
they know right from wrong. This is
levels,
danger based on your because babies can pick up on feelings, emotions, body language. Just because they're new to the world, that don't mean they're not smart. No, babies smart. They come out the womb with tablets. They're smart.
They
They're
sponges
smart.
and they're taking up all that. Yeah,
They
they
taking
get
up
it.
everything, and they're master manipulators. That's what people don't get. I've
Mm-hmm.
my mom take care of children from since I can remember, and I seen how babies manipulate their mothers, manipulate my
Literally.
mother. They've been learning you from the moment they're in the room, they hearing your voice. They come out, they say, "All right, this is mom's, that's doctor, that's dad, that's siblings," right? And they just picking up the faces, taking everything in like a sponge, and like every time I cry, mommy, I'd run and pick me up, boy. That's not nice attention. So
Right.
whenever they're bored, they cry, and then you run over and hold them, and
Mm-hmm.
all they want is the little hold and like attention and affection. Nothing wrong, but then they're picking up bad habits because now they're manipulating you.
Yeah, because they know what works, so they can do what they want to get what they
Yeah.
want, right? And then it's a thing where parents know that, especially in like Caribbean parents. I feel like in North America, it's cute, right? Home, it's cute too, but it's cute to a certain point
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like, all right, now you're pushing it. And I see where this is gonna keep going if you don't. So I have to do what I have to do to cut it out. And I know it doesn't go the same across the board where, the parents are always working that manner. Because in realistically, we're all human. So there's gonna be a time where your mom yells at you for something you really didn't deserve to get yelled at for. Right.
Facts.
I get that. They have their own thing going on in their life, and dealing with your thing is not helping. Fair, they do something, it doesn't give them the right, but you can understand it from a logical point of view, right? But what I know is with today is like everything that our parents do that maybe we disagreed with them as a child. I don't think that growing up now we're trying to look to see what they were really trying to get at.
Yeah, we're
We're
not trying to
still holding on
see.
to the childish hurts
Yes.
that we had when I got beat for whatever, for failing a test because I didn't understand the class that nobody could help me in, right? But you're not seeing it out. Your parents beat you maybe because you fail, and maybe in all the time they were telling you to do your work, they didn't see you doing your work, or you were doing stupidness. So they have the whole thing, but the point is that you're punished because of a certain thing, right? And all that's teaching you is this is not acceptable. The my house, my rules. Because when you get into the real world, the laws of the land are now the rules that apply to you, right?
Like that's
So
the new
right,
house.
that's literally the house you're in now. Like literally, it's somebody else's. It's no matter where you go, it's always going to be somebody else's house, somebody else's rules. Even in your own, there's still rules you have to abide by. So it's more important. I feel like we need to look at the bigger picture in that sense because we don't do that a lot. We still like to hold on to the things that hurt us and
Not
carry it
because
with us.
I hear a lot of people saying,
All
oh, I'm
right.
not gonna raise my kids the way my parents raised me. All right, cool. That's cool. Who
Yeah.
really, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you need to understand that certain things your parents did because they had to. Like
Mm-hmm.
what you were saying earlier. Because let's say, um, when you were small, you lived in a one room house and you had to
Mm-hmm.
share it with two siblings. You're gonna grow up and say, all right, I lived in a small house for lots of years. I don't think I want to live in a small house. So when I grow up, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a big house and my child gonna have his own room and own
Mm-hmm.
bathroom like I didn't have. Nothing's wrong, right? Nothing's wrong with that. But when your mom was trying to tell you, hey, I'm trying to do it, putting a weave in your hair in primary school. Come, let
Yeah.
me comb out your hair, and you don't like when your hair comb out because it hurts and it's stressful. And you're like, oh, if I'm picking one braids or weaving a for here or for she here, when you're in
Mm-hmm.
primary school, I gotta let them do it. But why?
Yeah. It's like
Like, it's
it's
your
literally you're
child.
teaching them that whatever they want, they can
They
get.
can get, like, yes, it's your child. You can do whatever you want with your child, time and place, whatever, whatever. But I'm just saying, but why?
You
Right?
know.
And I don't want to say that my way of thinking, y'all should all abide by it. But I'm just saying, sit back and think about it in terms of money wise. It's a lot of expense that you have to go through now just to give this child this thing that they don't necessarily need. What about you wait until it's in? I said wait until it's in. Anyways, until your child is in like secondary school where that person having more of a social lives and is going to be affected
Mm-hmm.
by the smaller things in life. And
Mm-hmm.
you want your child to fit in and not, be out there. So yeah, before you hit like grade 6 or first grade, however the grade system work,
Yeah.
first farm, you say, all right, boom, we can get some braids, but you should set these boundaries way before. Because I'm pretty sure your daughter's like, can I put on some makeup? Can I get some hair? And you're like, nah, when you're older.
Yeah.
you're not
It's
gonna
like,
tell them they can't try to plait their own hair, put on makeup at home, but you're trying to
mhm,
say outside, you're not gonna wear these things outside. You can have your fun inside,
yeah,
but when you go outside, these are the rules you're following by because
because
you
this
live
is what is
under.
acceptable. This is the law of the land I'm setting. And bro, people need to understand, especially young people now that are going to become parents, they need to understand that a part of raising a child is teaching them how to follow rules.
Oh, for sure.
Having rules, and even whether they're necessary or not, has nothing to do with, it's literally you need to teach your kids to follow rules. Not
Bro,
necessarily in the sense where you're teaching them to be controlled and manipulated by other people because they are rules, quote unquote, but you need to understand, like, it's just teaching them to follow instructions, and but
it's
you at the same
funny
time teaching them how to think too, right? But it's still an important factor.
because I see people be talking about, yeah, I don't want my children to be following the rules of society or society built because back in the day, people were just like, oh, you gay, blah, 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 shun, bullying, whatever, whatever. I get that. That was society back then, and you shouldn't be teaching them, you shouldn't be going backwards, right? You should love everybody equally, everybody have their own whatever, 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 right? I get that aspect to society, but to tell them that to ignore society on a whole, look,
Hmm.
back in the day, my grandparents would probably say, "Oh, gayness, burn it out, because that's ungodly. Church rules, blah 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 blah." But the
Mhm.
kids are growing up nowadays, they see gay people and they're just like, "That's just another person. That's just my friend. That's how life is, right?" Society is changing, and people saying, "All right, we're gonna push the change in this direction and
Mhm.
force every generation after." They're already growing. When my grandmother was born, slavery was worse than it is today.
Mhm. Like the
It just
racism
is,
and yeah.
yeah, racism and slavery, racism I meant, not
Yeah.
slavery. Yeah. Yeah, racism and stuff varies throughout the generation, and it's way better now than when it was back in the day. I'm just like, you shouldn't be telling them to fight against society, but in terms of you should build it in to a future that is worth living in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just we just do things out for the wrong reasons as younger people, and we're trying to portray that new message to like our own kids. I mean, I don't have no kids, you ain't got no kids, but like I see it. It's common on social media. Everybody's like, oh yeah, it's like everything that our parents did for us. Not everything, but a lot of whatever we didn't like, we just automatically look at it just because we didn't like it. But we're not looking at why. Why did they make an effort to stop me from doing such and such? Why did they, do this, or why did they do that? What was the purpose? What was not what was done, but what was the intentions behind these actions? You feel me? And until we understand that and we start taking that into consideration, we cannot properly build a, a we can't lay out a plan for how we're going to now take the information that we've been given and apply it to the children we're going to raise now, because we're just picking the parts that we liked and trying to give them that, and then all the parts we didn't, we're trying to throw that out completely instead of trying to break it down and like understand it. But I feel in a sense that's almost just like human nature, right? Like
Bro,
it's
I
just if you don't like something, we just the go-to is to get rid of it
bro, I get it,
rather than
because
trying to adjust.
because when I think back on stuff, when I hear people talking about this cancer culture and stuff, I'm just like, they don't allow people to make mistakes or to relive or see their mistakes. Because I'm just like, if you're quick to cancel and delete, right? What's the lesson learned? All you learn is if you make a mistake, hide it. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I feel, where am I going with this? I feel like we need to know where our mistakes are, address them, and then grow from it. But be able to look back and say that's where I went wrong. So it's like one of the reasons why I wanted to do like YouTube and do a podcast and stuff is
Mm-hmm.
for like my next generation. Because me personally, my parents love me. I love my parents. I've heard stories about my parents from my aunties and uncles. But in terms of they tell me about how their childhood were, how their high school life were, how their
Mm-hmm.
college years were, how their work life, young adult. I don't know anything about my parents. They're my
Yeah.
parents, but they're technically strangers.
Yeah, in that sense, yeah,
In
because
that sense, right?
they're your parents. They're not your little friend.
Yeah, yeah, they're my little
Yeah.
friend. So in my head, I'm just like, all right, boom. I'm probably not gonna reach a large audience or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I don't care because I'm just trying to have fun. But if I can document that fun, then later on when people asking, like my kids or grandkids asking me, yo, what was, dad like, or my grandfather like, or something, they're like, oh, you want to know? Because you could just go and watch his YouTube or listen to his podcast from back in the day. And he was talking about when he was younger. And they could listen or watch and say, oh my goodness, he's just like me. He went to the same thing. He thought this way. If I'm weird, they go like, oh, my grandfather's mad weird, boss. Or my dad was mad weird, boss. I'm not that weird. And they can see things from a different point of view than I would, or how I could relate to them. Because I could tell them, hey, when you go to high school, don't have sex, right? Just wait until you're married. And then the man see me telling stories about, yo, that time I fought that thing.
Yeah.
And they listen, they're like, oh my goodness, that's my grandfather, that's my dad.
Yeah.
But then they can realize that later on in like certain episodes or as I go along in the story, that lessons that I've learned, problems that I've encountered along
As a
that
result
journey.
of, yeah.
See? And when I told them not to do that thing, it was for their well-being, because then I'm saving them from the pain. But I'm not gonna tell them to not do it. I'm just gonna give my advice, and then it's either you do it or you don't. You listen or you don't, right? Because you still need to gain your experience. Because wise people hear the words of others, right? So they don't make that mistake, because you made that mistake and you told me about it. So no, I don't have to make it, right? With other people, the way how they truly learn is they have to experience that pain.
Yep. That's 100%. Some people don't just, it should be as easy as just learning from other people's mistakes. But if everyone learned from everybody's other people's mistakes just from, observing, and they actually learned and actually never, went through it themselves, I feel like life would still be pretty boring. So in a sense, I feel like it's necessary for us to have people like that, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessary for you to be that person. I would still suggest, like, just try and learn what you can from others, and then apply it to you. But if you have to learn it the hard way, it is what it is. Do you?
Oh, for
But
sure, man.
that's just an approach we have to learn to take.
Because like that's why I want to actually like go back and talk about a timeline for when we first met each other in high school, and then some of this stuff. Because like, bro, for Adventist school, a lot happens. Like I don't know. I gotta lie. I was gonna say I don't know what a public school was like, but I've been to a public school for a few of my primary years, to a private school, like in secondary or a bit the last sections of my primary years. Yeah.
It's a secondary.
So the experience, the differentness of that lifestyle, there's a difference for sure. But the thing that made Adventist school so different is because a lot of people who fell out of their school. Okay, let me paint the picture for you properly. There's this private school, right? That made for the church community, the Adventist community, and it's like, all right, boom, you don't want to send your children to have them exposed to certain things in other schools. How about we teach them what we believe in, give them an education, and you have that whole Christian whole thing going for you, right? That's what the Adventist school is really doing. And in government schools, you just do whatever, you learn your curriculum, you meet a lot of friends, a lot of people from different backgrounds, and that's what it is. But what would happen is some people who get kicked out of their school or expelled from their school. Like once you get expelled from a certain amount of government schools,
you
can't go back to any government school. So then you have to find a private school.
Well, you have
and
to
then
pay
some
to
people
go to.
you have to pay to go to. So now some people don't want to send their children to all boys school. And some people just like, well, it's either this or that. And they said, send them to Adventist school.
Yeah.
So now imagine you have a bunch of thugs, misbehaviors from all them other schools, and they don't want to go to school with all man. They can't get into the other schools. So you know where they go? They go for the cheapest private school that they can get in.
School. Yeah.
So now you have a bunch of innocent people who don't know nothing about the world except the Bible and what their parents tell them. And the kids who really misbehave about that life and doing all these things that, the Bible be warning us from. And then we get taste that life and say, this is fun and enticing. I know we live that, ooh, I want to do that thing. Ooh, that looks fun.
We're drawn to it.
They're drawn to it. There's like, I've never experienced this. Nobody ever said this, Never have you done this. And you have this, oh my goodness, I didn't know this life existed. I want to enjoy it some more. somebody tell you about carnival. You're like, what's that? You know, it's like that thing that
Yeah.
happen wherever down the road. And like, oh, and then they introduce the new music because all you know is the choir and gospel, and you hear all these, and you're just
And
enticed,
slap some cartel on there, right? Yeah,
right?
boy. Just change your whole view on
Your
life. Like the
whole
life
view on
you,
life, like the
the
life that
whole
you,
thing your parents was setting you up for. It just takes one person, one friend.
yeah, just that one day at school, and you realize what you know, you knew nothing. And it sounds like we going like off the rails and exaggerating, but just imagine you didn't know money was a real thing. And then you go down the road and go in somebody's store, pick up a piece of cake and walk on them and say, hey, you have money for that? And you're like, money? What's that? And then you see your friend coming splurging, it's okay, everything's on me, and you start shelling out money and picking shit off the shelf. You're gonna be like, oh my goodness, money is so important. And look at this guy who has all this money. Your mind is gonna be blown because now you need to get money.
You need to know more about money.
You need
want
to know about
enjoy
money.
it. Yeah.
You want to enjoy it like you want to have it. You want to be able to do that thing. You want to experience what he just
Because
experienced.
you're from such a closed, closed situation that anything that's different sparks interest.
Yeah.
Whether it's just the interest that you just kind of want to know what the heck that person is doing, or it's the that looks cool, I want to try that, But either one way or another, that's actually how we got. Wow, that's how we became who we are.
Yeah.
The pollutants that they got accepted to school, Christian school.
It's like because when I first came over to like I left from because okay, let me give you a nice little timeline. I came over in grade 4, like from the first episode. When I first told y'all that, Courtney got me in trouble, that was in grade 4 when I first came to Adventist school in the primary side. And I got licked on my first day because of Courtney. Thanks, Courtney. And at that point, I was nervous because I had my lunch kit and stuff, my one cousin in the class, and I was just trying to fit in with the cool kids, And I observed and listened and tried to be on my best behavior. And I got through grade 4 and went to grade 5. That's when I was like, all right, I'm funny, I'm cool. Everybody like respecting me and knowing my name right now. And all that shit used to happen, and I was just like, yo, it's kind of sick. Then I got to grade 6 where now I started, I don't want to say broke out, but that's when I was being a little perv, checking out the girls and then
every aspect,
kissing up the girls and then squeezing up boobs and smacking ass, getting all kind of things, just testing the water. When I got to first form, all them Bobby touching and Batty smacking I was doing was child's fucking play. In grade 6, I was chasing people, playing hide and seek, catch man, doing all kind of stuff, playing these games, running around, getting sweaty. I got to first form. I was still doing my little games and stuff, but when you saw them other kids, right, they're just chilling, they're just talking, they're just telling jokes, they're flirting with these girls and stuff.
A whole different ball game that we knew.
what is happening here? Nobody running around and doing nothing crazy. They're just laughing and having fun. I'm just like, that's lit. And I tell you, when I looked up at those Form 5 kids, right, those kids that was about to leave school to go to college, they were looking deep. They were looking like some grown prisoners. And them mans had beer abs that you could see throughout their shirt, right? Them mans were tall and muscular. And I'm just like, who are these guys, bro? I want to be like them when I grow up.
That's true,
right?
yeah. And that man only like 16.
Yeah, they're just like
If
16.
you think about it now, these guys are 16, bro. But I promise you back then, they didn't look that young.
They did not.
They're at least 30.
I'm looking at them guys, I'm just like, bro, these guys beefy. When I grow up, I'm going to be like that. When I got to 5th form, I did not look like that. I was not like that.
Nothing like that. Nothing of that nature. I don't know what they were eating back then.
And then I'm looking at those first formers, and I'm just like, what do y'all see when y'all look at me?
Because they look even, but they started looking small too.
But they start looking small, guys. But
I'm like,
but that's what the podcast has in its future. Telling you the timeline of everyone's friendship, getting into all these fun fake facts, all these what if scenarios.
What ifs. And we just talk about real life too, talk about what's happening, So that's pretty much it, things for you guys to find, things in store in the future. But we're here to serve you guys, serve the general public in our speaking capabilities, the way we talk, the way we share, the way we think in all aspects. So once you're in for the ride, we'll gladly welcome you. All right.
For sure, guys, for sure. And this podcast episode might be a little bit longer or a little
Yeah.
bit shorter, but they'll vary in size for sure. Sometimes we might give you a little 30-minute podcast episode when we can. And sometimes it might be longer, like today, since you have the time, just having fun, just talking.
Just
But
talking. This
like,
is all it is. We're not even doing anything out of the norm. Like this is just me and my guy having a convo for you guys. Not even for you guys. We're just having a convo, and you guys are allowed to listen in. So
yeah. But if you have anything to add to it, you can hit us on our socials, hit us on Instagram, meet us on Clubhouse, and we can just have some more conversation throughout the week.
definitely any ideas, anything you want to see on the show, anything, we're out here for that for you guys. So, once again, we want to say thank you guys for tuning in again to another episode of the D&D podcast. It's your boy Evron.
Hey, and I'm Timon, aka Mr. Terrible TNT.
And we're signing out again. So you guys have a good one, and we hope to entertain you once more next time.
Hey guys, bye.
Peace.